folks, we're back here about to mop up. It is 7:48 in the p.m. here on November the 21st, 2025. The future is here. The future is now. And something I wanted to talk about before I get out of here in about 10 minutes and some change is International Men's Day. Thanksgiving's coming up next week, and a lot of us are going to spend Thanksgiving with our fathers, our brothers, for a lot of women out there, your husbands, your sons. And it is important that we understand that men in this country are dealing with a lot right now. International Men's Day is about bringing awareness, because there's this overall tendency that people have to think that men just have it very easy, very good. Now, obviously, we have had, as men, sort of a hold on the power in most societies for a very long time. Most societies are patriarchal, but that does not mean that men are not suffering, and men don't have issues that need to be dealt with, especially, like I said, dealing with the type of anxiety and depression that a lot of men face, especially during times like this, during the holiday season. And so, I want you to just think about some of these things. 80% of America's murder victims are men. 80% of America's suicides are men. We think of domestic violence as being something that solely happens to women, but 40% of domestic violence victims are men. 40%, a full 40%. Men are 90% of the people in prisons in our society. 90%. And that's not just because we commit all the crime. I know a lot of y'all saying, men commit all the crime. No, we don't. That's not true. Men get 2/3 more time in prison than women do for the same crime. It's called the gender sentencing gap. You don't believe me? Look it up. Google it. The gender sentencing gap. If me and a woman commit a murder together, I might get 10 years. She might get 3. Especially if she's white. Men are 90% of the workplace fatalities that we have in our society. 90% of the people who die on the job are men. That's because we work more dangerous jobs. We work more hours. We work dirtier jobs. We are more likely to work jobs that you can be physically injured or killed doing. That's just a fact. And a lot of the people who talk about the gender wage gap and all this other, they never bring that up. Men work more dangerous jobs for longer hours. With more peril. 75% of the homeless in our society are men. Think about how often you see homeless women versus homeless men. And so the reason I'm saying this, especially as we're about to celebrate Thanksgiving and, hopefully celebrate it with the men in our lives, it's not about minimizing what our mothers, our sisters, daughters, aunties, grandmas, cousins, all these people are going through. It's not about that. Well, I'm just saying that if the perception is that there is a war on women, then there is a genocide on men in our society. And so hopefully, this International Men's Day that we just had this week will make people think about the men in their lives. A lot of men are dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. There's a crisis of the male loneliness epidemic that I'm hearing a lot about, particularly with younger men in their 20s. A lot of Zoomers are suffering from loneliness, a lot of Zoomer males. And we see these young kids and we just see them and we don't really pay attention to what they're going through. We really don't. We don't pay attention to what they're going through. We just think, you know, they're just being a teenager. They're just being dramatic. No. Put your arm around that young man. He's going through some stuff that might be bigger than just, oh, he's a boy with hormones. Oh, he's just a teenager. Hormones are surging. No. No, what young men are going through in this country is a lot more than that. And it is absolutely important to sort of do away with some of these ideas about therapy and about suffering is what being a man is about. No. No. We are paying for that mentality. 80% of our homicides, 80% of our suicides. This is a crisis. It really is. And so, you know, for my father, my brother, for all the men in my life, my uncle, my nephew, my cousin, all of them, you know, this one's for you, y'all.